at, I don't think it's as effectual or effective if we just have a video, because you don't have the ability to answer questions. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and slideshow. And I said I'm having a major disconnect with technology in general today. So Chrome tab.
That was my yesterday, so I understand.
Thank you. I know we all understand that with each other. So, okay. We actually had 10 people register. Of course, there's you and Heather. I'm hoping that this is one of those things that as we go through, more will join us, because this is so important. So let me share what I have. Our first IT AI collaborative. I think you know me, and the best way to get in contact with me is through email. But the purpose of this collaborative is so that I can help you. I can help other districts that just don't understand. So it's a virtual meeting monthly for anyone district IT. And I'm really specifying the difference between ed tech and IT because I've done a lot already with ed tech. I haven't supported IT at all. And I think that that's going to be very important. And these should be indented. There we go. Okay, so basically to share experiences, challenges, and best practices, to encourage peer-to-peer learning and structured presentations with breakout sessions so that it's your need can hopefully be met. So I know that Troy's coming in. Where are you currently at with your state of IT maturity at your district? And I know, Heather, you can just put that in the chat since you are unable to speak on a microphone today. Good morning, Troy. What is your district's current level of IT maturity?
Of AI partial implementation would be kind of where we're at.
Okay.
We have some people that have doubled down on it, and then we have some that have beat AI with a stick to keep from using it. So,
Heather, I know that just exploring, which is great. I think this is a very serious conversation because while AI can provide many, many promises for districts, there are many, many pitfalls or perils that we can encounter. And we are, protecting our students and our staff. So just to go through and share some of that. So I do want to let you know that our annual EdTech survey, which thanks to several of our Oaksty people, we've gotten more responses. I'm only at 72 so far, but one surprising thing I saw was that out of 72 districts, 4 do not have anyone in an IT role at their district. Now I'd have to dig through and find out, is that because there's internet, lack of internet there? I don't know. I haven't looked to see how small the schools are. And 23 out of 72, 31% contract out their IT. This is really helping me because if you're contracting out your IT, it's probably someone with a business mindset who doesn't have that educational experience and may not be supportive of the use of AI in schools. Thoughts on that?
I would say that it's even lower down the totem pole than that they're not paying attention and don't really care. They're most of those contract guys are centered around uptime, and just having it on and having it semi-secure and people being able to work. They're not paying any attention to content and really don't care because it's not really their mindset. They're in it just to keep the lights on.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that.
Which is really scary. I mean, what are we doing to prepare our students for the future? You know, I'm involved in both national and international AI initiatives. And when you're hearing about countries that are giving all students access or all high school students free access, those students are getting that education, the AI literacy, and our students aren't. And how are we going to be competitive? And I'm thinking, you know, here in Oklahoma, we already have enough educational issues. This is one of those tools that could be really helpful in helping dig us out of the hole that it feels like we're in. Okay, but even more concerning, out of the 72, 7 districts do not allow any access to AI on their network at all. And 3 allow only staff. So again, out of those 7, 6 of those are the ones that contract out their IT. Our students out there, first, are not getting any support or experience or nurturing on the use of AI. And we're going to send them out. And, you know, we're always talking about future ready skills. This is definitely a future ready skill. My guest today will be Dr. Scott Hazelwood, and he's going to share what Deer Creek has been doing with their AI. But we're having some time issues. So I was going to ask if out of these 4 topics, because we have Peavine that's just exploring, Troy, can you share any of your steps that you've taken as a district IT person to get the ball rolling and ensure student safety and educator knowledge?
The first thing I did was tell everybody that I'm not blocking it. It is what it is, and that was my first step, was that we can do anything, but we can't block it. And I've since gone back and blocked the ones that we can't use because of privacy concerns and things like that. But that's where it started. And then after that, we purchased Magic School to give everybody a kind of a, well, it's the safest type of space that we could provide, because there is controls on it. There's already some pre-made bots and things like that. So, then we've provided training and hand holding to go along with that. Is kind of where we're at. We've had, the people that jump out in front, we let them keep jumping until they jump too far, and then we'll say something. But everybody else is just hand holding to new ways of delivering content, and that's been the tough part so far. The similarity is whenever COVID was a thing and we moved everybody to digital, everybody still had these sacred worksheets that they needed, and so their goal wasn't to transfer that over into some other medium. It had to be the sheet of paper, and so everybody got into the little extensions that drew the boxes over on top of the PDFs and things like that. And we said that we had implemented technology that way, and so it's kind of the same thing. It's not about just in dealing with people in general. It's never about moving forward. It's about letting loose of what you were doing that you think works. And while we have a mountain of evidence that suggests the worksheet doesn't actually equate to good instruction, we still hold on to that because we don't know or are scared to move forward. And sometimes it's just, we get used to it and we don't want to put out the effort to move forward. But
Right.
anyway.
Adam, what are you noticing?
I'm seeing a lot of Magic School. I think when they came out with the data privacy piece, a lot of schools jumped on that and said, hey, we're going to move forward with these guys and let the teachers start doing stuff. So I think that really helped the schools get into AI. I know I've seen some schools go with ChatGPT, and I'm like, you guys really got to stop. I said, I'm all about AI, and I mean, I pay for ChatGPT, but I'm like, for the students' safety, you guys got to get off there. And that's, I presented on AI down in TCA System Admin Conference, and the state, well, your equivalent down there, was there, and he goes, I am shocked that there are still schools in Texas that are blocking everything AI. So, but that's about what I'm seeing. So
that's good. I know that there's a lot that are still doing so. But those are often the people that really haven't even gotten onto the one-to-one bandwagon either. Magic School AI is probably the easiest and safest one to use. I'm starting to think that, I don't want to see that become a crutch, because I want our students to be able to learn correct prompt writing and revision, and the thinking of, I'm making lots of things for my teacher pay teacher store where students are really looking at the output, and let's say taking a simple statement in English and selecting another language to translate it in, and seeing when it translates back to English, our teachers all identified as females, our doctors all identified as males. What kind of bias is there in that translation from English to whatever language, and analyzing, does that carry across with other sentences? Does that carry across with other concepts? But this is definitely a good starting place.
Well, when I do my PD with teachers on AI, I'm like, you guys have got to stop grading the outcome, because you're going to get the same outcome. Grade how that student got the outcome. Start looking at their prompts and going, hey, what did they put into their prompt to get this outcome?
Right.
And I mean, I've had teachers reply back to me and go, oh my gosh, that was so much better than grading the outcome, because you're right, it's all the same. But with them coming in and saying, oh, look, this guy used prompts that were specific and he put in the right stuff. And I'm like, so start teaching these kids how to use prompts correctly versus just put it in. So,
and I love the idea of providing, having students turn in or submit their prompts along with their work to, kind of see, did they accept the first one? What kind of revisions did they make? And I think that that's going to be a very good way. I mean, we don't often see what's going on in a student's head, and I think that that will give us a greater understanding of their learning capabilities or where they are. Heather, have you used Magic School at all? No, okay. Let me see if I can drop. I'm going to actually go to Magic School AI. I do have to tell you, my new favorite is Claude. Claude is blowing me away. I'm deciding that I am going to purchase access to a different one each month based upon their capabilities. But Magic School AI is very simplistic and easy to use. It is free 100% for educators. You can go on and buy a different license, but here I am using it as an educator. I'm just going to sign in with Google. And what I like about it as an educator is it doesn't take a lot of depth and thought to the use of it. It has so many of the prompts pre-created that I'm just kind of filling in the blanks. And let's see, it is very slow today. Like I said, technology is not my friend. So many different ones: math spiral review, presentation generator, text proofreader, family email, fun things like song generators. And so this is something that I am starting to work on, is to create a custom chatbot. And I think that could be really useful for some educators or students to create. You have those frequently asked questions that maybe you share this with parents or students, and it can provide you some feedback so that you don't always have to be right there. Super easy. And of course, my internet says we're experiencing issues. I love the fact that I can favorite them and pull them to the top. And, a rubric generator, no one in the world likes to create a rubric. This is great. And also so here's my output history, so I don't have to lose anything and everything I've created. And if I don't like something that it's created, I can either edit a prompt or I can edit it down here. So I could just download it. This is already aligned to the Oklahoma Academic Standards for Math. And I can just go in and edit myself and push it out into a Google Doc. Or I believe there's some connections to Google Classroom and everything already. Super, super easy starting place. And if you have any of those reticent users, this would definitely be a good place for them to start. Troy, I love having you share with us. What have you done with any of those people that maybe aren't ready to take the leap? How are you kind of nudging them along? Or are you? Troy and his distraction, I'm sorry. What about you, Adam? How are you encouraging people? I think once somebody sees the benefits, it would be really hard to go back. I can't not use it.
When I do the AI PD that I offer, I show them off of examples they want to see, and I think that opens their eyes, and then they get into Magic School. Usually by the end of the PD, I've got teachers already logging in and they're off on their own. I'm like, okay, well, what else do you guys want to hear today? Because you're not paying attention to me. So, but yeah, I mean, that's just, I end up showing them. And then once they see the benefit and how it can save them time, and that's, when I go into a PD, that's how I look at it, is what can I give a teacher or an educator that will give them time back in their day? So.
And it's always entertaining to hear them start their excitement once they realize what it can do to help them. So Dr. Scott Hazelwood from Deer Creek has joined us, and I've asked him.
That's Dr. Leonard.
Oh, well, it just still gives me chills when I hear that.
Why is this starting to sound like a Spies Like Us, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd?
Karen and I had a hard time getting this link working correctly today with the two of us. If I dare to share our backstage shenanigans.
Oh, somebody booked a meeting right before this for me, and it's just been a lot. And technology, it's not a technology day for me, Dr. Hazelwood. It hates me. But
it's hard.
I had these meetings planned out 2 months ago, and I have the one for July planned out. And the one thing I forgot until yesterday was to get someone who is already implementing this in the district to share some success stories and some pitfalls. So I have asked Dr. Hazelwood to share some information, and we are at the point where, in terms of usage, we are seeing that, let me go forward. We have one district that's just exploring. We have some partial implementation, and we've talked about one of the easiest and safest starting points has been Magic School AI. And I know that you use a different one. So I would love to hear anything you have to share for us with us.
So I'll say, when I got in, you guys were talking about, Adam was talking about Magic School, and our teachers, we can't necessarily afford to do the district-wide licensing for Magic School, but my teachers that are in Magic School are evangelists for that particular space. And so just simply through word of mouth, that part of the world, the Magic School is everywhere in our district, and it's so pervasive in our district that one of our curriculum instruction people has gone on to Magic School and done whatever level up certification thing that she can do to support our staff there. So I just want to sort of back up Adam on that one. Magic School has been great for us, even on the free version, and our teachers are finding so much value in it that some of our teachers are paying for their own premium subscription service for it. It's been that helpful.
Wow.
And then on the flip side, we're a Google district, and so I have turned the Gemini education version on for our middle school and high school kids, according to the information from Google. They will allow Gemini use for students aged 13 and over. So we have that going in our district, and we're just trying to help our teachers use it. Like, don't be afraid of AI, which is hard because I have a teacher who, she is great. She's a career educator, 40 something years in the classroom. And this has been a struggle for her because it has so upended how she does her normal, typical classroom stuff. The AI part has just really been a very big challenge for her. On the flip side, she's got some younger colleagues who have stepped into AI teaching the same type of subject. It's an English class. And where my career veteran teacher is concerned with cheating, my younger teachers are saying, okay, if we all put this exact same prompt into AI to get started, and then the students fill in their piece, and now we can use AI to provide that feedback and clarification on grammar and things like that. So that's sort of the two schools of thought that we have in Deer Creek, where like how do we use AI with fidelity in the classroom and prevent it from being, what teachers refer to as cheating. And as a recovering calculus teacher, we were all the time talking in math class about the use of a calculator. Should we use it or not use it? Calculator's AI. And my big thing the whole time that I was a math teacher was, as soon as you can demonstrate to me you understand the basics, please use the calculator. If you're going to do something that requires significant mathematical work, please use a calculator to just make sure you're headed in the right direction. And I think AI is a similar conversation now, that our friends who have never had to use a calculator before are having these same conversations that mathematicians have been having for a long time. And I'm a strong advocate of using whatever the tools that we have available for us to use. We should try and use them.
Has there been any concern with, we were talking earlier, Magic School AI kind of, because it already has some of the prompts built in, it kind of ensures maybe the safety of output. Have you had any issues with output of Gemini that has been inappropriate or caused issues yet?
Not that I have heard of, but also in a school district, there's we're 8,100 kids. This year, 7,500 of them are actively trying to get around the system somehow. So I mean, because gosh darn it, they're just such sweet little angel babies, right? But we haven't had anything so significant that an administrator has asked us to turn something off or shut it down.
what kind of feedback from parents have you had? Did you inform parents, or did they hear and have they supported this implementation?
Our parents here in Deer Creek are really involved. They just love to have um, as many fingers in the pudding as possible. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's really good, and sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, this is like we need a chance to breathe here. And we've had zero negative feedback from our community as far as the availability of Gemini to our kiddos. We didn't do a big, huge, ginormous announcement that it's out there. We just turned it on in the background and let it run. And then we try to support our teachers with here's how you can use it as part of your teaching and learning. So um, now there have been some questions on other areas of technology, like, hey, I don't want my kid to have a Chromebook. Well, sorry, that's that's
Yeah.
part of their school supply list now, basically, and we have to teach them how to use this stuff correctly, which is hard.
Um, do you have a policy for students, or how are teachers articulating expectations for students in their transparency of use of AI? Is that something district-wide, school-based, or is that a creation?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have an AI policy that ties back into bullying. So using AI to create an image or a document or something like that that can be used to slander another person or do a deep fake sort of, hey, here's the naughty bits. So we have a policy on that. And we don't have a policy, but we sort of have um, well, we did update our policy to include the use of AI. We understand that students will use AI, but we tied the use of AI back to academic integrity. So if a teacher can document and show that a student has used AI to cheat, to do the wrong things, then that becomes an academic integrity issue where the students can be held responsible for no credit or low credit on a particular assignment. So we have both of that in our policy. But I'm talking with my superintendent. We've tried really hard to craft a policy that is not going to have to be redone next month when Gemini 4.0 comes out and everything that we just spent, 3 weeks putting together is now in the trash bin. And that part is hard because we want to promote good use of these tools while at the same time, like, we understand that some kids are going to be ding dongs with that. So how do we put into policy that use this for good, not for evil? And you can't really say it like that.
Yeah. Another thing that I've heard from people in your district is that they have used a tool called School AI. And I am trying to, let's see if we can.
Is that not
and
Magic School?
maybe, no, it's a different tool. I'm signing in. I should be sharing my screen right now. And again, everything is working really slow. Obviously, I got kicked out because of bandwidth. Imagine that. It has a capability of creating personalized learning spaces that students go into that hopefully it will open up. Hopefully I'm not getting anyone in your district in trouble for sharing this. But it's been a great way for them to hold conversations about a topic, and all of the conversations are visible to the educator. This is a free version. Prepping my content, of course. So
I feel like
spaces.
School A also had some documentation on best use of AI. I feel like.
So here was an Earth Day one that I created. Oh, students don't have to log into anything. They can use a space code or a Google Classroom link. And that was not the one that had any input in it. Let's see. here's an Earth Day one that I did. You are able to see by participant, and it can start with like a story, and students have to interact with let's see, here we go. Welcome to the Earth Day Detective Adventure. We're on a mission to discover the mystery of the disappearing trees, and it walks them through more of a project-based learning and asks them questions. And what I like about it is if students give what could be considered a wrong answer, it guides them back. But that was just another question I had. Troy, Heather, Adam, do you have any questions that you would like to ask Dr. Hazelwood? No?
That's just how I like it. No questions.
I'm sure I want the answers from the current source. That's it.
Troy.
Well, I'm hoping that you have found this at least a little useful. You know, the goal is to maybe only take 30 minutes to an hour tops. But again, just to see what other districts are doing, if there are topics that you would like to have discussed, you know, addressing AI concerns or comparing tools, talking about your parent communication or teacher buy-in. We will meet again, if you could join me, on Tuesday, July 8th from 10 to 11. And on that session, we will have Edmond Public Schools sharing some of their AI implementations. And I just thank Dr. Hazelwood for bailing me out at the last minute. Y'all don't want to hear me because I'm not in a district in implementing it in the way that you are. So,
Just
you know,
learning about it.
Again, the purpose of this is for some of our larger districts who have that support and have already implemented it to share with some of those that, again, either rent out or hire out or contract out a tech director or do not even have anyone in the role and are blocking AI. You know, it's not the end all be all. There's definitely paper pencil activities, communication, relationship building. And relationship building, just to let y'all know, I'm not sure if you've been listening to any of the conversations about the AI sites. I think one is called character.ai, where users can create their own fictional friends and have conversations. Or if you've seen the wearable AI called Friend, and all they have to do, it's like a necklace, and they can have conversations. They talk to the AI tool and it responds to them on their phone or their watch. And not only is it creepy, but it's always listening, even if you're not tapping in. And I'm thinking we're going to see these start to appear. And, you know, how do we help our students understand deep fakes and reality versus AI created mayhem? So.
And I think
Okay.
that's part of what the struggle is too. You know, that's one of the things that you know, I keep coming back to teaching with the calculator in my math class. Like we had to teach kids how to use the calculator mathematically correctly. And that's hard, but we spend a lot of time talking about here's how you do the things you need to do. Here's how you do the correct mathematical things. And I think that same conversation is part of what has to happen with AI in the classroom. I mean, it's just one of those tools where you know, it just is going to up. I still don't know that we know how much AI is going to upend how our education looks moving forward because it is such a huge deal that I think it's really going to knock us around a little bit before we figure out how to get our hands around it and use it correctly and get the most from it with our kids. I did put into chat one of the things that I share with my district. I got this from Teach AI. And it's just they come back and like it was last updated about a year ago, it looks like, but it's a document that they use as far as like how to use this toolkit, like what it looks like in schools, different things to consider, all the things. It's really long. It's like 46 pages long. And at one point in time, they were coming back and revising it every 2 or 3 months. So I just put that out there as a place to share.
It looks like you may need to share access.
Oh, do I need to share access?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me share one.
Well, I'm excited because ISTE's at the end of this month, and I cannot wait to go and learn and be able to bring back and share. So first of all, thank you for taking the time to come and join me today. I will send a follow-up email to all of you who have attended and those that were unable to attend with a link to this video. And if you can think of any other district IT people across the state that you think may benefit for some of these conversations, please go ahead and forward that email to them, and I'll try and send it out through our OXD grouping as well, because this is a topic we're all going through this together, so why can't we support one another? Okay, well, thank you again. Have a great rest of the day. I'm going to stay on if you've got any questions, and thank you again, Dr. Hazelwood.
Oh, you're welcome. I can stay on too.
You guys have a good afternoon.